Alright, this sucker's gonna be lit as hell. Anyway, hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to a video on this YouTube channel. And, boy oh boy. Life is great. Anyway, so, let's go ahead and talk about, topics. Yeah. You know what? Hentai games. Hentai games are basically, it's a telemarketer. Okay, so basically, the kids, the family, they got E-rated games. The teens and the guys in their elementary school days, they got their T for Teen rated games. And then there's the 17-year-olds and older who got the M-rated games. But a lot of you guys have been wondering, are there anything, like, beyond rated M for mature? Well, that's where the hentai game comes in. When everybody barely executes a game with an AO rating, and even though ESRB rates a game AO, it seems to be fucking... The last game they rated AO was fucking Hatred. You're just running around shooting people. That's an M-rated game, not a fucking AO-rated game. There's no sex. You don't fuck people. You don't see fucking nudity in there. Okay? You're running around shooting people. That's not a fucking AO-rated title. Get your fucking shit together, ESRB. A game that truly gets an AO rating, the adults-only rating, is a hentai game. And what is a hentai game? A hentai game is a game made in Japan that is fully uncensored, and they're known for their fully explicit sexual content, meaning nudity, and you get to see scenes of sex a lot. So, yeah. You get a shit ton of nudity and a shit ton of sex. That's how hentai games work. We can go with eroge, but actually, the term eroge is more centered in terms with the visual novel. Yeah, let's be safe and just say that the eroge is pretty much mostly used in terms of visual novels. Because I've barely seen someone label a hentai game an eroge. That's not even a visual novel. So, uncensored. That means you see anime titties with no censor bars, no blurs, no fucking light shines, none of that shit. You get to see the full fucking tit. You get to see the full tit, including the nipple, and you get to see the vagina. Yeah, that's right. But however, when there's censorship, there's barely any of it. Actually, as a matter of fact, either the inside of the vagina gets like half-assed mosiacs, or the dick gets like half-assed mosiacs. Or maybe things have changed where pretty much the mosiacs are gone for the inside of the vagina, basically. I don't know. Depends on what the hell is going on. The last time I heard it had something to do with Japanese law or something. A while back, I mean, back when I was a kid, you don't ever see eroges localized, ever. Well, actually, you barely see eroges localized. I'm going to correct myself here for a second. I have remembered one get translated to English, but however, that depends. Okay, that game could have released a long time ago, and that game was finally localized later. So, however, most of the time, you would find hentai games exclusively in Japan. You would have to go and fucking import them. Not only that, you would have to pretty much go and master the Japanese language, fully learn the Japanese language, so that way you can, better understand the games, you can understand the text, you can convert the text to English with your mind, and it's pretty cool. Okay. Or somebody, and pretty much, I'll get to that. You know what, actually, I'll get to that later. I'm not going to spoil anything for other parts. So, let's keep on going. So, but back then, you'll only find them in Japan. They end up getting barely localized in America. However, if you remember back in the Atari days, we had porn games. However, a lot of you people are going to sit around, what do you mean? You just Google hentai games and consider around here. Well, they're not actually fucking hentai games. They're not made in Japan. However, instead, what you get is that somebody outside of Japan just draw a bunch of fucking random shit that has tits and an ass, and then just add in some fucking, make it all super cartoony, and then fucking put it up on the web browser, and then use the name hentai to get fucking clicks. But however, if we fast forward to now, there are hentai games getting translated to English. And how, you ask? Two ways. Localization and English patches. So, you have Just USA, you have Manga Gamer, you have Sekai Project, aka Denpasoft, or whoever you like to call them. They go ahead and they get the games translated to English, they get them all translated to English, and they do that. And also, what about the games that never get localized by these companies? Well, somebody pretty much takes matters into his or her own hands and pretty much come out with an English patch or an English translation patch that'll pretty much like mod that one game that you're looking forward to, and all of the languages, all the texts are all in English, and pretty much you don't really have to study Japanese at all. The guy's just translated shit to English for you, which is actually pretty good. And also, there's been occurrences where hentai games end up being on Steam, but however, they end up having the all-ages version get up on Steam, so that way they can stay on Steam without ending up getting removed for whatever signs of fucking hentai content in there. And also, while they end up with an all-ages version, there's this R18 patch where you can apply it to the all-ages / Steam version, and then pretty much uncensor the game. So basically, these games end up on Steam, but however, the R18 content, the hentai content, ends up getting moved into like an R18 or an uncensoring patch to where the player has to get a hold of and apply to the Steam version of the game to get the game uncensored. It's so that way people can still get the hentai content and pretty much not get the hentai game removed from Steam. And then oftentimes the all-ages version gets 50% off permanently. So that way, Steam's happy, everybody's happy because they're putting in like the fucking R18 patch, and they're playing the game uncensored, and they're happy. Yay! Yeah, seriously, Steam needs to open up a fucking R18 plus only site. Seriously. So, on the topic of... Fuck, I forgot that word. Alright, let's keep going. The question goes, where do we find these hentai games? Where do we find these? Okay, well, for starters, any localization company has their own storefront. Okay, so where they sell their own localized hentai games that are translated in English, that's where you're going to find them. So when you have sites like Denpasoft, who's pretty much basically associated with Sekai Project, okay, so you'll see them you'll see Denpasoft selling Sekai Project published hentai games, and then Manga Gamer's got their own fucking storefront. They're publishing their localized hentai games, and then Just USA is selling their has their own storefront, which is selling their fucking hentai games. So they're like first parties. However, with the first party stores, there's pretty much other sites you can check out. Like, let's start with DL's site. So you have DL's site right here. It is a big, huge, big name, big storefront in the hentai games industry. This is where this is where everybody, even developers and publishers, can go in and sell their hentai games out there. There is an all-ages version. And however, a long time ago, it was a Japanese exclusive site, but however, DL's site has decided, gone out of their way, but to release an English site for people outside of Japan. So there's the English for all ages, and there's the English for adults. So they've been pretty much big. And however, when it comes to DL's site, when you access DL's site itself, you will see hentai games mostly in Japanese. But you will begin to see, at the same time, you will begin to see more of the hentai games get translated to English, either the developers or publishers themselves, or DL site officially. And then you have the new guy, Newtaku.net. They end up pretty much selling translated to English, Hentai Games. And yes, they're also known for publishing also porn games. They have published a few all-ages games, but you'll see that rarely. They're bigly known for their hentai games, so yes. And you're going to see Karakara Uncensored in there, and you're going to see Nekonin X Heart in there, and pretty much whatever is decided to be on Nutaku is going to be there. So that's why you're going to see Karakara Uncensored, that's why you're going to see Nekonin X Heart Uncensored, and pretty much there's some manga gamer titles being sold there, there's some, I guess you could say, there's some Jazz USA titles being sold there. I don't know, that depends. Keep in mind, this is me trying to remember the games I found on their storefront. But, however, yes, they got a ton of porn games, but you can find hentai games a lot over there, where you can just go ahead and pay money and buy all of them. However, if you are waiting for money and you're still impatient for some hentai games, Nutaku comes in because they got this thing to where there's free-to-play hentai games in there. Yes, there's microtransactions, but free-to-play equals microtransactions. But, however, they're pretty much addicting, and there are some of the games that I have been playing, and there's the games I've been playing a lot where the microtransactions end up becoming entirely optional, and basically I have gotten pretty much a lot of good shit without the use of microtransactions. So, in the event that I did pay for these games microtransactions, was because I really, really liked the game so much, and I was really, really hooked into the game, and I want to keep this game going alive, and I'm sitting here hoping this shit doesn't fucking shut down on me, so I'm gonna get something back, and there's a win-win on that. Something like that. And another thing that Nutaku is known for, and DL Site's doing this also. So, Nutaku, there's Android versions of their free-to-play titles. Not yet their downloadable, buy-to-download games, buy-to-play games. Okay. But also, DL Site is also allowing people to upload Android games into their site. Because whatever's not... I mean, these games are not going to come into fucking Google Play. Hell no. Alright? You can go to DL Site if you want hentai games for Android. And you could also go to fucking... If you want free-to-play hentai games, you can go to Nutaku. So, we're getting there. And, however, there's VR gaming for hentai games. Some of them are offered for free. But, however, you can get a premium game, like import yourself a copy of a game from Japan, like Custom Made 3D2. That game now supports VR. And also, another thing to consider here, you have this VR anime game hub that's called Imagine VR. And Imagine VR hosts like all ages games, but they also host hentai games for VR. This is where I got Let's Play with Nanai for my Oculus Rift, and that also works with the HTC Vive. I should be saying Nanai. Okay, yeah, let's get going. So, Let's Play with Nanai is found on Imagine VR, but you can also get it cheaper at Nutaku.net. However, you are not going to get any English translations for this one. So, all in all, hentai games are... Back then, you'll have to end up, you mostly find them in Japan, you have to import them. But however, if you fast forward to now, people outside of Japan are able to end up accessing them thanks to English translations, either through localization or English patches, and also official hentai game developers opening their doors for people outside of Japan. And really, with this accessibility to hentai games, we are innovating. All in all, hentai games... They're not for kids, okay? They're for adults. They're for really, really grown-up people. They're for really good people that can. They're for really older people who are old enough to see tits and ass. They're really They're old enough to have sex. They're old enough to jerk off. Now, if you guys excuse me, I'm gonna go in and get my daily login.
Hey, now that we're on the topic here, I've been hearing things about Hentai Games appearing on Sega Saturn and other old video game consoles.
Oh yeah, I forgot about mentioning whether or not Hentai Games appeared on consoles or not. Wait a minute. What? Hentai Games on Sega... Is there an active investigation on these rumors? Because...
Oh, so a miserable piece of life is trying to restore the value of himself.
Shut the hell up! Where'd he go?
Appreciate your efforts, but unfortunately, this Freddy Fazbear guy is the type to talk shit and then teleport instead of fight. But he then occasionally jump scares people here and there. But yeah, let's keep on going. But then again, if I go ahead and then chase down Freddy Fazbear, pursue him, instead of working on my videos, the devil of entertainment's not going to be happy. Fuck. I guess we're stuck with the videos. Wait. There's been Hentai Games on consoles before? That's impossible! Normally they don't end up getting allowed to be on there. How? I have to investigate. I have to investigate. I have to dig deep inside Google. Dig deep, Google. Dig deeper. Penetrate. Go inside. Cover me, I'm going in.